is Pro Wrestling's VIP, Cassidy Round, and you're watching WGS-TV.
Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer and ZFX-TV. I'm the WrestleGamer, Billy Boudreaux. This is going to be the Impact Wrestling review for the week of May 1st, 2014. How about that? We're already in May in 2014, guys and gals. That's unbelievable how fast this year's flying by already. Let me introduce the panel for this week's Impact Wrestling review. First off, from YouTube.com/LanceMossTV, he is the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me.
And from the hood on iVlog, ladies and gentlemen, he's the Bay Area MVP known as Will. Will, how you doing?
New Windows 8 computer. That picture on your Facebook's disturbing, so let's just get this over with.
Well, this week's Impact Wrestling is going to be the fallout from TNA Sacrifice. You know, who's going to be the next guy to get a shot at the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Eric Young? And the way that MVP set it up in this opening segment, it was just basically a draw of cards between Gunner, Mr. Anderson, and Bobby Roode. The two low cards would face off in a match with the winner facing the high card, and then the winner of that match going on to face Eric Young that night for the TNA Heavyweight Championship. And a really unique concept in my mind to set up your new #1 contendership and title match all in the same show. So I will give TNA and creative hats off to that one. That was indeed a unique brand of thinking. Magnus wanted to know why he wasn't involved, so we went out to the ring and called out MVP, and instead gets Abyss, which right off the bat means, Lance, to me, they're pulling they're pulling Magnus, rather, out of the title picture into a feud now with Abyss.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, how long have TNA had the paper champion in the title picture? It's time for somebody new.
Definitely, definitely. So we were going to get a chance to see that, especially, you know, in this, but following that, we also had Bully Ray, who vowed to, I guess, give Dixie Carter a little bit of wood, as he vowed to put Dixie through a table. We're going to talk more about that when that segment comes, as Lance is just trying to contain his laughter and his joy.
I thought only Andy was into that, giving Dixie wood.
Oh, jeez. But anyway, opening matchup, it was indeed Mr. Anderson and Gunner. They drew two low cards in that opening segment backstage, so it turns out to be just them. Now, James Storm's appearance in the match, I wasn't really surprised with, because I was a little bit surprised with, because I thought they had finished with that feud, and they were gonna move them on into different directions. But apparently, well, maybe so, because in the fact of what happened in this match, Storm kicking Anderson by mistake, and Gunner kind of hits what I coined on Facebook, well, as a very, very lackluster F5. I don't know if that's on Gunner or if that's on Anderson. On the page last night, I kind of called that on Anderson for just kind of flopping off the shoulders of Gunner. There was like no rotation to that F5 whatsoever.
As they say, if wrestlers can't control their moves, better change their moveset quickly. I mean, overall, this match was interesting, and I thought we were done with the James Storm Gunner feud, and it seems to want to linger on as we have this little tournament to see who's going to face Eric Young. And yeah, I did see the flop, and it was just visually horrible. I will give this match a okay 2.7. Would have been better if Storm didn't interfere, but I think it was an okay match by far.
Yeah, it was. It was definitely. Would we see something new transpire out of this? Well, only time will tell. Now, EC3 and Rockstar Spud decided to kind of mock Kurt Angle, as they did make the announcement that on next week's Impact Wrestling, EC3 would be facing Kurt Angle one-on-one, and in their mockery, they kind of had Rockstar Spud come out and like mock gear of Kurt Angle, and they were trying to do a little bit of collegiate wrestling. And there was a photo I posted on my personal Facebook page. It was meant to be, for hilarity, to make people laugh about it, and instead some people kind of took it the wrong way. All I can say is, guys, learn to recognize a joke when one is appearing on my Facebook page, especially with the compromising physician Rockstar Spud once again had to bend over and take it once again for TNA as he got into that position with EC3. We're not going to delve into any further comments about what happened on the Facebook page. We're just going to let that one lie. But up next, let's. Well, Kurt Angle did respond to it. Kurt Angle said, if you're talking about the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle, that Kurt Angle would play by the rules. This Kurt Angle, however, is out for blood. So this is going to be probably a violent match next week on Impact, if anything goes that way. Bobby Roode and Gunner. I gotta say, Lance, pretty straightforward match, to be honest. I'm actually a little bit surprised not to see James Storm out there try to run interference and cost Gunner the match, but it was still a very decent match, to say the least.
Yeah, pretty much most of the matches on this show were good to really good, except for except for that Rockstar Spud EC3 thing, which was just disturbing, and how bad it was. But anyway, yeah, really good match. Really wasn't, because they don't really like having wrestlers wrestle multiple matches in one night, so it didn't surprise me. Gunner lost, but good match.
And now Bobby Roode would go on to face Eric Young later in the evening for the World Heavyweight Championship. How that went down, well, we'll tell you when we get there and to that point in the review. But following that, Dixie Carter comes out, says Dixie Carter says Bully should fear her. And now Bully Ray comes out and for the first time I've ever seen him reason with security that was on the floor blocking him from getting into the ring. And security kind of agreed with them, so they kind of stepped back and let Bully through. Bully went through 3 members of security that was in the ring before he could put Dixie through the table. MVP intervenes and says anything that happens in that ring is my responsibility, and until further notice, both you and Dixie Carter are barred from the Impact Zone. So, again, unique way of this story, which is going with, of course, with MVP, now Dixie Carter and Bully Ray. So, and Bully, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Bully Ray at the end of the podcast, at the end of the show, did mention to the cameras that I'm going somewhere. I'm going to Nashville, Tennessee, which is the home of the offices of TNA. So I'd like to know where they're going to go next with that one. Willow and Cowboy James Storm. If people wanted a glimpse into the Attitude Era of wrestling once again, you can pretty much look in this matchup in a sense. And what I mean by that is, there was a lot of edginess to it in the form of Storm wanting to stab Willow with the beer bottle, and Storm getting hit with an umbrella by Willow. And do you think perhaps the chance that we were expecting Mr. Anderson to get his revenge on Storm?
Oh yeah, I mean, in my personal opinion, I was waiting for Gunner to come out, but this match reminds me of an old 1998. Can't really say that company because we're not talking about that other company, that type of match. And this was something that was beyond new means. And unfortunately, we have our winner. Of course, we know who he is, that guy with the 2 colors. But I was not shocked to what happened when Storm was going up the ramp. Mr. Anderson was waiting on him. And what happens, folks? Mic check on the ramp. So I guess tit for tat there, huh, Storm? So I think this match was a lot better than the Gunnar Anderson match. So I would give this one a 3.25. I mean, like you mentioned, Billy, weapons and visions of the other company and what they used to do. But yeah, this one was a better match.
Let me ask you this, Will. Do you think we have the premise for a new feud forming now between Cowboy James Storm and Mr. Anderson based on what happened last night?
I would be surprised if they did, because the way that James Storm interfered and the way that Anderson replied to that, I would love to see this feud. A cowboy versus the asshole of TNA. Why wouldn't it work?
Well, the Bromance were complaining backstage about the fact that they had the 3-on-2 advantage, and the numbers game kind of played in their head, and that's why they lost at Sacrifice, the Tag Team Championship. And MVP granted them a rematch and a match last night, a special 6-man tag, and it was against Wolves and a special partner. That partner turned out to be the X Division champion, Sonata. And the only thing I'll say about that match, Lance, is DJZ just got the raw end of the deal.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody, how can you be on a disadvantage in a handicap match when you're the team with the man advantage?
TNA logic, I guess.
I've been trying to figure that out. Or Bromance logic. That means too much bronzer. Anyway, yeah. They didn't get the hell beat out of them.
But we do get the announcement, though, Lance, that on next week's Impact Wrestling, the Tag Team Championship will be on the line. The Wolves defending against the Bromance in a ladder match.
Yeah, and to me, that just says one thing. Zeman's getting involved.
Yeah, but I have seen some clips of the Wolves from Ring of Honor, and with some usage of the ladders. This is gonna be fun.
This whole show's going that way.
Definitely.
I mean, you got EC3 and Kurt Angle, and now this match. What's next?
Well, what was next on Impact last night was apparently the beautiful people want to go out and celebrate Angelina Love's title win. Now, they received a letter earlier in the night from what they claimed the TNA board of directors that they were wearing too sexy, too revealing, and they were going to stand up to the board of directors by going out there and strip, but it turned out to be just another beautiful people ploy with the fans, I guess, to draw more heat on them. Gail Kim came out and said, you know what, you promised the people you're going to strip, and you're going to strip. And before Gail Kim could have the opportunity, they got out of there. But Gail Kim was not alone, as Madison Rayne and Brittany were waiting for them. And then, lo and behold, out come off the dresses of the beautiful people, and we see them in all their glory. I think the only thing we can properly say about that segment, Will, is swing.
Pass the segment to Lance.
Lance.
I approve.
Yeah. I think we all approved on that one.
Indeed.
But finally, the heavyweight championship on the line. The TNA World Heavyweight Champion Eric Young defending against Bobby Roode. Very, very decent match. Again, if Eric Young were ever to be booked here in Louisiana, he would not be able to use that pile driver because it is banned by the Louisiana State Athletic Commission for wrestlers. They cannot use that pile driver here in this state. So I guess maybe where they're at in the Impact Zone right now in Florida, I guess it's okay, with their state commission, their state boxing athletic commission to execute the pile driver. Because I know in WWE it's banned from because of a lot of mishaps and people failing to pull it off properly and actually getting hurt. Stone Cold Steve Austin really did get his neck busted from a botched tombstone pile driver by Owen Hart. That wasn't fake, guys. That was real. That was real right there. So, but I gotta say,
it's real to me, damn it.
Lance, did you expect to see a title change tonight? Bobby Roode becoming the champion from this match?
No. I think they're going to give Eric at least to the next pay-per-view. Because after as long of a run as he stayed with TNA as long as they have, they're giving him at least to the next major pay-per-view.
Slammiversary, maybe?
Probably.
And you know what? I've just thought about something. You know, who's the one person we haven't seen yet back in TNA to possibly challenge him for that title? I would say Samoa Joe. In all likelihood, if they want to have him drop the title to someone at a major pay-per-view, Lance, it would have to be Samoa Joe.
EY, Joe's gonna kill you.
It's just just a thought on it, guys. We're not spoiling anything.
Good thought. Yeah.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, guys, we have no Facebook fan reviews to read on this week's Impact Wrestling, but if we did, again, whenever we ask for Facebook fan reviews on Facebook.com/WGS-TV, we always read them out loud right here on the official reviews here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer. So on that note, guys and gals, it's time to go into overall scores and our picks for best and worst match or segment of Impact Wrestling. The fallout from TNA Sacrifice. And indeed, you know, a unique way to set up a one-day championship tournament to determine a new number one contender and have your title shot all in one show. I think it was a unique way of thinking from TNA Creative on that one. After lockdown, I thought we were done with Dixie Carter on the microphone. Why the hell is she still there? Why the hell does she think she's like Eric Bischoff? Why the hell is she relevant? You know, she's the TNA president. Keep her ass backstage. Keep her butt in the office. You know, we don't need to see her in the arenas on the microphone, because she cannot sell a promo if her life depended on it. Okay, TNA, you teased us. You teased us by saying that after Dixie Carter team lost at lockdown, that she would no longer be in control of wrestling operations in the storyline. So if she's no longer in control of the wrestling operations in the storyline, why the hell is she still there trying to pull off a storyline? I guess it's her family's money. I guess she can do what she wants, but she's killing the product. That's all I'm going to say about that. It was a very decent show, other than that Dixie Carter F-up. Seeing the beautiful people get stripped. But other than that, a very decent show. I'm going to give it 3.75 out of 5. Best match of the night, believe it or not, I'm going to give it to Eric Young and Bobby Roode. It was a very well worked match. It was very well done. I truly enjoyed it, with an honorable mention to the 6-man tag from the Wolves and Sonata taking out the Bromance and DJZ. Worst match of the night, I'm sorry, I got to give it to Anderson and Gunner, because it was very lackluster, for your opening matchup from two guys who are supposed fan favorites, and Gunner, who's supposed to show a lot of intensity as part of his gimmick, was just very laid back, very mellow in the match, and the finish of the match was no rotation to the maneuver, and in fact the appearance of James Storm just made it all the more predictable that something was going to happen. Two things really did happen: the end of the Storm Gunner feud and the beginning of the Storm Anderson feud, as we saw. But again, it was still no excuse for a sloppily worked match, and that's exactly what happened. We had with Anderson and Gunner, so I have to give that one worst match of the night. Let's go to Lance next, get his overall scores and his picks for best and worst match or segment of Impact Wrestling. Lance?
Overall, the show was better than Sacrifice, which that's not saying a whole lot, because, well, it don't take much to beat Sacrifice. Anyway, like
our
you said,
reviews can beat Sacrifice.
Yes. Anyway, best match, I'll give it the Willow James Storm match, because, well, that's just kind of one of my favorite styles of wrestling. Worst match, we don't ever need to see this match again. EC3 and Rockstar Spud. Ain't nobody need to see that. Best segment, beautiful people getting stripped. How can you not? Worst segment, Dixie. Need I say?
Yeah. And finally, guys and gals, we're going to go over to Will and get his overall score and his picks for best and worst match or segment of Impact Wrestling this week. Will? As he needs to check his microphone. Will, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Still can't hear you.
No hear. We can't hear.
Well, we do apologize for that, guys and gals. Apparently, Will's having some technical difficulties. He's on a brand new laptop on this review, guys and gals. So we got to cut him a little slack for that one. When I first got this laptop with Windows 8, it wasn't easy for me to operate either. So again, our apologies to the Bay Area MVP known as Will. Hopefully, we can get him back in here to get his overall score and his picks for best and worst match or segment of Impact Wrestling, which is what I want to know from you guys out there. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of Impact Wrestling this week? We always want to hear from you guys out there. We appreciate all the comments, all the likes here on WGS-TV. So be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Lance, what can fans expect to see when they come visit your channel over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV?
Album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, Redneck Gourmet cooking videos, and whatever else pops into my head.
And speaking of popping back in, we got the Bay Area MVP known as Will back. Will, again, to your overall scores and your picks for best and worst match or segment of Impact Wrestling.
All right, am I clear?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for that. Flop Windows 8, you fucking opera system. All right, overall score I'd say was a 3.2 out of 5. I would have to agree. The Anderson Gunner match was something that just wants to put a 9mm to your head because I expected more from this match. Honorable mention to Bully Ray for what he said at the end because he smells something fishy when MVP barred him and Dixie from the Impact Zone. So next week I sense a little swerve going on. But back to it. Worst match? Yeah. I'd like to point another worst match if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
It was the two people fighting in the crowd when Bully Ray was talking. I don't know if you guys seen that. There was just two guys just disagreeing about why Dixie was in the ring, but if you guys will probably look at that again. But the best match had to be the 6-man tag with the Wolves and Sonata versus the Bromance, and DJ Zima Ion was just left for dead. Not the Xbox game.
Oh, man.
And also, you guys can find me at ivlog.tv/user/BayAreaMVP. Sorry James is not here right now. He's being hassled by a homeless guy for a cheeseburger.
And
to believe.
Yes, to believe.
We'll be doing our simple wrestling debates, and this Thursday we'll be doing the NFL draft. So we'll be looking forward to our football fans to join us this Thursday on iVlog.
The links will be in the description box of this video, guys and gals, where you can check out James and the Bay Area MVP known as Will on iBlog. Also, don't forget to like the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/WGS-TV, and don't forget to please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer and youtube.com/ZepXTV Network if you haven't already. So for the incomparable one, Lance Moss and the Bay Area MVP known as Will, I'm the WrestleGamer, Double B Bully Roode, saying, thank God Dixie Carter shaved for Impact Wrestling this week.